Please welcome Janie Crow. So we managed to escape the yarn barn for a little bit.
Finally.
Nice little bit of a relaxing time to actually be able to make something for ourselves.
Isn't it lovely?
But when did you actually start knitting or crocheting or working with any kind of yarn?
So I wasn't taught by my grandmother, which a lot of people are, aren't they?
Yes,
by an elderly lady relative. I learnt from a 1960s book.
Oh.
Because my mum didn't knit or crochet, so I had this old book that I learnt from. And the problem with learning like that, I mean, obviously at my age, we didn't have YouTube or any of those amazing things that things that people have now. So I learnt from a book, and old books assume that everybody knows exactly what they're doing already. Like it's ingrained when you're born. So you know, loads of mistakes along the way, but in the end my great grandmother could crochet, and I remember my aunt saying she just had a love of yarn. And for me it was that love of, like, if I walk past, if I go in a fashion shop or something, I have to touch everything and smell it as well. You know, it's kind of like that. Oh, it's fabric, I have to touch it. So I think it was that, and I did a textile degree.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I did knitted textiles, but it was machine knit, so it was like those old-fashioned, knitting machines. I
got one of those for Christmas present.
I saw that you've got one.
And I could not believe it. I didn't even know what all of the... Well, I mean, all I've done is that thing that you saw me make, which was just a jumper. I just made a plain old jumper for my son. But it was so crazy to me how quickly that can come together.
I know.
And all of the things you can do with it. Like, you can do, like, colour work with it, and all... I mean, I haven't gone that far yet. I haven't, it will never replace for me hand knitting, but the fact that you can create something on a machine is it's
amazing.
It's so much fun.
It is amazing, but I think the thing that I kept going back to was with hand knitting is just that whole, how it feeds your soul.
Yeah,
it really does, doesn't it? It's kind of like that whole, it's the slowness of it, it's the thinking through things as well while you're knitting or crocheting. Like, you can solve the world's problems when you're crocheting, can't you?
Yeah, it's a chance to be able to, like, slow down, be in the moment, be present, because the world is so fast nowadays. It's nice to be able to slow down a little bit, because I started knitting right at the beginning of lockdown, and YouTube was my way of learning. So I've been knitting and crocheting for like 5 years, and I started knitting initially and doing it just on video tutorials because the idea of a pattern was extremely overwhelming, and then all of a sudden I started being able to understand what the pattern was telling me to do, so then I could do the patterns. And then I was like, I wanted to make a certain jumper that I saw, and I was like, oh damn, it's crochet, I don't know how to crochet. So then I thought, well, I learned how to knit, I may as well learn how to crochet. And learning to crochet then after knitting felt so much easier, because I already had a certain understanding of how stitches worked. So once I got into crochet, I then was obsessed with that for a while, and that's all I wanted to do. And then I kind of like keep dabbling between knit and crochet depending on what I'm doing. Sometimes I mix it together. And then learning to design my own stuff was kind of the most freeing thing, because I always thought like there was only one way to do a certain pattern, one way to do a jumper. When actually, when you let go of that and embrace just going your own way, it is so freeing, and it's nice to be able to do that. And I mean, I can see why the stuff that you make, you decided to take a direction of, I'm going to do what I like.
Yeah, I mean, it's just completely different, isn't it? It's a completely different style. I mean, when I design, I'm designing for other people to, like you are, for other people to make. But I'm not a garment fan. I can't really get my head around garments.
Oh, really?
So I'm very much more sort of like blankets, throws, cushions, home stuff. I think because I kind of see what I do in flat form. I can't get my head around 3D. The whole way bodies work.
Shaping,
I can't really. It doesn't work for me. So my thing is much more sort of blankets and stuff. But crocheters love blankets. They just love them.
Yeah, I mean, I have made many a blanket in my time for friends and family, and like it's just the therapeuticness of it. Like even this, like I was gonna make a granny square, and then I was like, well, why make a granny square when you can make a triangle? So I just started off with 3 clusters, and to be honest, I'd like to say it was on purpose, but I realised that once I got to the second round, I was like, oh, I only did 3 starting clusters. I'm just gonna go with it and see where we end up, and I think that's the fun of crochet in particular, is that you can go in any direction you like and do, you know,
it's kind of organic, isn't it?
Yeah, and you can even do the freeform stuff, which is really fun. You can go off in a direction and turn it and do a stitch that's really tall or not, and I think that's the fun of it, is being able to have a play in any direction that you choose.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm just going completely off book now. I'm going to turn and weave and dive into all these stitches and see what comes of it. But what was something that inspired you to learn to design your own things?
I don't know. Well, I suppose really there was, before this most recent crochet revival, there was another one kind of probably at the turn of the 2000s, around about 2005.
Okay.
Where traditional knit houses, like yarn companies, started to suddenly put crochet in their patterns.
Okay.
And I was, at the time I was working as a design consultant for a yarn company, and so if I was doing workshops and stuff like that, I kind of realised that I had to learn to crochet in order to get some work, really. And that's where I'd always known how to crochet. Again, I kind of learnt from a book, but yeah, I just really loved this idea of, you know, like when people do crochet longs and knit alongs. So that's what I started doing, designing crochet along blankets. And I did the first few, and they really took off. So that was kind of it then. I was like...
So crochet is now, would you say crochet is your preferred?
Yeah. So for sitting in the evening in front of the telly, it will always be knitting. Always.
Oh, really?
Yeah, always. So I love the kind of the fact that you can watch the telly. Like even with this, it's really quite simple, but I have to look at it. Yeah. All the time. You don't have to look so much as I do. You seem to be...
I just feel around. I do that with knitting as well. I can like feel.
Yeah, so with knitting I can do that far more.
Yeah.
But I do every now and again forget you need 2 needles for knitting, and I'll just go and settle myself on the settee and
then you're off with one. And you're down. I always feel though, and I don't know about any other crocheters that are around there, crochet hooks are the easiest things to lose. Yeah. Yeah. Like I always find myself randomly, you know, sitting on the sofa, and then all of a sudden I've got like, you know, it's down the side of the sofa, and I don't know where it was. I'm having a little play with freeform of just going in any direction.
But look how fast it's grown. That's already really quite a thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's gone into something kind of, I mean, I didn't know what was going to be. And that's the thing, once you've created something random, you can then crochet into another side of it, just to kind of join it together, and it becomes like its own little thing. Again, I'm just
very cool.
having a play. Who knows what this will be? It could be a plant holder. Who knows?
Well, that's another thing that's really popular, isn't it? The fact that you can use crochet for homeware. And there's a real resurgence in macrame as well, isn't there?
Exactly. And there's lots of like kind of like dupes, if you like, where people can, you know, make something crocheted that looks like it's macrame, right? And it's which I think is really quite fun, because I saw some plant hangers during lockdown. I was like, oh my gosh, they look like so much fun. But then I don't know if I was up for learning a whole new skill to do it. And then I saw all of these crochet patterns that you could do with it. So, and then all of a sudden I was kind of enthralled by that. And then before I knew it, I was learning how to crochet wall hanging things. And I think that was also a lot of fun for me.
That's very cool.
Yes.
I saw as well, because you do quite a lot of your knitting and crochet for friends, don't you, and relatives?
I do.
Do you find they're always appreciated, or do you always make sure that you give to the people that will definitely appreciate it? Do you know what I mean?
I always
pick your audience.
Yeah, I always make sure I knit or crochet for people that I know are going to want it. Yeah. Because, you know, you put so much time and energy into it. If they then are just like, oh, I don't really want this, or like, oh, thank you, or don't understand necessarily how much time and energy went into it, then I'm always a bit like, oh, was that really worth it? Which 9 times out of 10, if you give it to someone that doesn't want it, of course it's not worth it, because but that's the nice thing about knit and crochet, is that when someone does appreciate the time and the energy that went into it, it is really special to receive a handmade gift, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you often make things for people, or is it very much now like I'm just knitting and I'm just crocheting for work?
I've learnt my lesson with giving things to people.
Oh really?
I think over the years, I mean, when my kids were little, I used to knit and crochet for them, mostly knit for them. And I think when I first met my husband, I made, took 10 years to make him a jumper.
Well, there is that thing, isn't it? The curse of the jumper.
Boyfriend jumper.
I know. As soon as you make it for something for your significant other, is usually when it all goes downhill.
Yeah. So I was lucky on that one.
Okay, good.
But yeah, I kind of compartmentalise in a way, in that crochet is definitely my job.
Oh, okay.
I love it, but it's what I do as my work. So, like, I wouldn't sit in the evening and crochet or make something crochet for somebody. If I was going to make something for somebody, I would probably do it as a knit project.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of think it's a funny thing when your hobby becomes your job.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is, and it's kind of like, in a way, that has kind of happened for me, but I also still see it so much as fun. Yeah. And it's an exciting thing. And when you knit, what do you knit? What do you like? You say you don't like to make crochet clothes. Is knit clothing still off the cards as well?
No, I do knit clothing, but I'm kind of like I'm really into garter stitch at the moment, which is just like the most boring stitch ever.
No, but But
it's very therapeutic, and you just keep going.
Yeah.
So, and I like this whole thing. Have you seen the whole thing where lots of people are knitting a strand of mohair, let's say, with another strand of yarn?
Yes.
And you get this nice sort of like
fluffy material.
So I've done a few of those. Yeah, but not for anybody else.
Yeah,
anymore.
No, that's fair. I always feel like it's one of those things that once you get round to making something for someone else, the only time that I do it on a regular basis is for newborn babies, like in the family or friends. Lovely. Or whatever.
Yeah.
And when I first started knitting, I was like, oh, I'm going to make this cute little cardigan and spend loads of time making it. And then I was like, oh my gosh, they got to wear it like once.
Yeah.
So now I make blankets for babies because they stick around for a long time. And often people keep blankets quicker than they'll keep like cardigans.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
I think.
Cot blankets and things.
Yeah, exactly.
And they can always use them again, can't they, and pass them down.
Yeah.
And we've got blankets in our family that my great grandmother made.
Oh really?
And she would have been a Victorian child, and we've still got blankets that she made. I think if you went anywhere in the world to anybody out in our family, they've probably got one somewhere.
Really?
So that's a really nice. It's that heirloom thing, isn't it?
100%.
As well. It's really nice.
It is nice to be able to have those little things as memories, and because they tell a story as well. I recently did a project for, I don't know if you've heard of the charity Loose Ends.
Yes, amazing. Yeah.
So I did a project for them. So for people at home watching who don't know what Loose Ends is, it's essentially a charity where somebody has an unfinished or damaged project that someone has either passed away or wasn't able to finish or is unable to fix because the person who made it is no longer with us, and they send it off to people who know how to crochet or knit and how to fix it, and they do it can be fixed as if it's invisible, or it can be fixed as if it has a visible mending. And I fixed a blanket that was crocheted that they wanted it to be really obvious that it had been fixed, and put my own stamp on it. So I fixed the blanket itself so it looked like it was together, and then I crocheted 20 little hearts and just sewed them onto the thing so you could see exactly where it was
really nice.
Broken, and then stuck together with love, if you like. Or you learn to knit from a book in 1960. How do you think from the 1960s? Sorry, not in 1960.
I suddenly got about a decade older then, if not more.
But how has the craft of knitting and crochet changed from a book from the 1960s to what it is now on social media?
I mean, it's massively different, isn't it? Because a lot of it's great because last summer in particular, crochet was really fashionable, or the summer before. All the girls wanting to make bikini tops and things like that because they've seen them in the shops. Mm-hmm. And, you mentioned it earlier that if you see crochet in a shop, somebody has made it.
Yeah.
It's not been machine made, whereas knitting can be machine made.
Yeah.
So it's really exciting that there's all these young, especially the young, you know, really, well, there's all sorts of people picking up crochet, but the thing that excites me is the young people picking up the crochet, and the fact that they're learning in a very different way, and probably their prime resource is YouTube.
Yeah. No, it's amazing that people are able to like learn on social media, and then also create things that are like it's having like a really like high fashion resurgence, right? It's like coming back in a way that is, people are like using a lot of knit and crochet on the runway. I mean, like for example, even what I'm wearing today, like you wouldn't have seen this in a book in the like back in the day, because it's slightly more out there than what you would consider. But that's the great thing even about Game of Wool, the show. It's like seeing what people can do with knit and crochet that you just never imagined that people would do. Like, because knitting always had the name that was like very like, oh, this is what, you know, it's for old ladies that sit and do nothing, and actually like our contestants prove that that's not the case, but also it's just false. Like there's so many people that love to knit and enjoy the process and enjoy the feeling and the satisfaction of having something that's able to be made like with your bare hands, some yarn and a hook or a couple of needles, and it's really quite special that it's like people are able to do that. I don't know what even I've made here. I've made maybe a little hat for a Paddington Bear or something. I don't know.
I love it. Yeah, I think it's that thing, isn't it, that maybe knit and crochet's finally sort of shaken off that old, and it is, you know, it always is old lady-ish, isn't it? Not old man-ish. But I mean, traditionally, going back into the Victorian times, it was the men that would have knitted. The women were the spinners, so the women would spin the yarn, and the men were mostly the knitters.
How interesting.
So it really changed, and I think it's that thing of how something that was a, you know, if you like, men would have knitted to supplement their incomes, I suppose, really. A lot of farmers and that would have knitted. And then as the industrial age came in and machines replaced farming and stuff like that, it became more the women stayed home to do it because the men were off doing other things. So it's just quite interesting that so many, I mean, it's brilliant to see so many men adopting it as well, and I think one of the reasons that's changing is because people are so much more aware of the kind of like mindful side of the crafts as well. You know, which doesn't have a barrier to sex, does it? Really?
No, exactly. And I think there's more and more people are feeling comfortable to knit, and also knit in public, crochet in public, because I genuinely think that knitting and crochet is a superpower, because you're able to like forget about everything else and just be so present and in the moment.
Absolutely.
And you know, without knitting and crochet, I don't think I would have won an Olympic medal, like gold medal.
Amazing.
There's no way.
Amazing.
Like it took me out of my head. I'd stopped overthinking everything. It was the first, and you know, the Olympics in Tokyo had there was so much time to overthink because of COVID and not being able to do anything socially or do anything outside of eating, sleeping, and training or competing. You know, there was so much time to overthink, whereas crochet and knitting got me out of that completely, which was, I mean, something that I am very, very grateful for now.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you think it's because you have to count, or is it just the concentration?
I think it's a mixture of the two. I think it's the counting is something that I find to be quite therapeutic. Sometimes it can be frustrating, obviously, but I also, there's the counting, and then also sometimes, like, something for me was like learning how to read the stitches. Are there any pieces that you're particularly proud of, or things that kind of like really changed the way that you saw crochet?
So there's a design of mine called Persian Tiles, which it's a decade old now actually, and it has its own Facebook group and everything. Not run by me, but it's got thousands of people on this Facebook group.
Wow.
And it's I mean, it's you know, it's relatively complicated. People see it, they want to make it, but the claim to fame on that blanket is that Justin Bieber wore it to the after party at the Oscars in 2023.
Wow.
Which is totally crazy. And we got all these comments from people saying, oh, you know, do you think his gran made it? Do you think somebody just happened to put it over his shoulders at the party? Which is unlikely, actually. You wouldn't really find somebody with a blanket in a bag, would you, at an Oscars after party? So he has a clothing brand called Drew House, and one of the girls involved in that has made Persian tiles. So I think his stylist saw it and then decided that that's what he'd wear. So obviously be very under the radar at an Oscars party.
Under the radar, yeah.
Under the
very
radar.
Not under the radar, just under the blanket at that point. But I do think that's also inspired other people to learn how to crochet and knit, because people see it on these younger celebrities, even like Harry Styles with the J.W. Anderson patchwork cardigan. Yeah. And for me, like one of the pieces that kind of changed my trajectory in the knitting sphere, if you like, it was the cardigan that I made at the Olympics, and it was the thing that for me, like I say, felt like my superpower of being able to just switch off from everything. But it was also the thing that kind of made it so that my people knew that I knit after that, and I didn't care what people thought about if I was knitting in the stands or if I was knitting on the bus or on the train or on the plane or wherever. Like, it was my way of being able to have something in my bag that I knew I could switch off with if I needed to. And I think that's something that I needed to have in order to really get through it.
Were you surprised at the reaction to it? Did you have any bad reaction to it?
No, there was no real bad reaction. Like, it was more very much like, oh, like, what is he doing? Like, why is he doing that? And a lot bits of that, but then at the same time there were some people like, oh my gosh, I knit, but I've never wanted to knit in public. Yet, if you can knit at the Olympics, then why can't I knit on my park bench? Or why can't I knit on the train when I'm commuting to, school or to work or to wherever you're going? So I think there's also that aspect to it, which I think is quite cool too. Well, that break has been short-lived because now we've got to get back to set. But, I mean, I completely went freeform. I started making a granny square, realised I'd made a triangle. Then I was like, you know what, I'm going to go off-piste and make something in a weird shape. And here it is. It's a real random... Could be a little hat for a teddy bear, let's say.
Love it.
I tried to go as off... Again, it's my first time actually ever doing freeform.
Oh, that's really cool.
Normally I always have a plan, but there was no plan with that. So there it is. What have you got going?
Oh, well, I did a mystical lanterns, which is one of my shapes that I've done. And then because I didn't fasten off my yarn, I've kind of attached another one to it. So I've got something a bit sort of...
Oh, so that's one of those little
it's one of those,
hexagon things. Oh, wow.
Yeah, but then I've got that. It's like a little baby on the side.
Great. It's still got this still attached by the cord.
Yeah. Yes.
That's what we like.
Yes.
Well, I was curious how you did this bit. Where you did the bit that kind of slithers off over to here.
Yeah, so you make your chain, you do 5 chain, and then you work back into it, and then you just keep going round.
Well, thank you so much, Janie. It's been amazing having you on the show and have that extra insight into crochet. So
it's been great.
Keep doing what you're doing, and
thank you.
It's time to go judge these contestants.
Yeah, it's been great. Thank you.